presents School is Now in Session.
Welcome to Homeschooled Podcast.
Homeschool.
The Homeschool Podcast. Why? Because he was homeschooled.
It's time to document the journey.
Welcome back to Homeschooled Podcast. This is Augustino Zoida. Thank you guys for coming back in. We know you got a lot of options out there for podcasts, so everybody out there that's listening, we really appreciate you. I want to welcome to the show Nathanael. If I script the last name, it's Clingan.
Yeah, you got it.
I got it. Right. Nathanael Clingan, everybody. Welcome him to the show. I met, you go by Nate, right?
Typically, yeah.
Okay, so I met Nate in Austin, Texas, like in April when I was featuring for Tripoli, and then just again I saw you when I was headlining again at the Romo Room, and you did spots on that show too. So welcome back, or welcome to the podcast for the first time. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Yeah, dude. Oh yeah. So quick reminder: this episode is out already, and so this weekend. I'm sorry, no, it's not even a weekend. It's a weekdays. It's a rare weekday. I'm on the road. June 14th, this Wednesday, tomorrow for me. I'm in Portland, Oregon, and then June 15th I'll be in Seattle. So make sure you guys grab your tickets for those at homeschooledpod.com. Click on tour, and once again, it's Portland Wednesday the 14th, and Seattle the 15th. And all the information of where and everything, the times, tickets, it's at homeschooledpod.com. Make sure you get your tickets in advance. All right, Nate. So yeah, we were just talking about how crazy it's been in Austin, and as far as weather, and like how you guys got two extremes. Like you've lived there for 15 years, and you're saying this is the hottest summer that you've had there. And also, everybody knows that this winter was pretty scary for you guys.
Stupid.
So
absolutely
crazy.
Stupid. I don't know, because I'm thinking about it, and I would for sure say that this is the hottest summer. But dude, that like winter storm, I don't think is really talked about enough as like in terms of like how insane it actually was.
Right, because people were like stranded in their homes, no food, literally wondering, when are we going to have electricity again? When are we going to be able to... I know somebody that like they lived on the top of a hill, which was all ice, so they couldn't drive down and get food. They were like literally stuck there for a week. Like no one's really treating it the way that it was like a castaway on ice situation.
100%. Dude, my best friend works security for a hospital, and the storm hit while he was at work, and he stayed there the whole time.
In the hospital?
He was stuck in the hospital the whole time. I think he worked like 97 hours that week.
So they let him stay clocked in the whole time?
Yeah, they let him stay clocked in, and he was just like, he was not home for like 4 or 5 days. Well, he was like, there's no point in going home.
That sucks in its own ways, but it's also like not a bad place to be stuck. You got first aid kits, you got the cafeteria,
Also, you're getting paid stupid amounts.
You're getting paid. You have a bed. I'm sure there's like an empty bed you can go find. And I would just be breaking in the middle of the night and just stealing those fucking Jell-O cups.
Oh, dude. The access that man has is insane. It's stupid. Yeah, Jell-O cups whenever he wants. All he has to do is like sleep with a nurse and throw a homeless dude around. That is his prereqs to getting as many Jell-O cups as he wants.
He's calling you up crying about his woes, and you're like, bro, I'm locked in my house. Don't tell me about your your crushed ice chips, fucking privileged ass.
I don't want to fucking hear it.
Yeah.
I was like, this is the second time I've watched the entire MCU. This whole this.
It's like, bro, you got those little popsicle stick things. You got Q-tips all you want. You're fucking fine, dude. You know what I mean? Quit bragging.
We got rolling blackouts over here. You were fine.
Yeah, all the gloves you want.
And not even the blue ones, like the cool black ones they have in Criminal Minds. I don't want to fucking hear it.
So
yeah, dude,
you probably could figure out that I dabble in the conspiracy theory world here and there, but I'm not your typical conspiracy theorist. Like, I won't believe every single conspiracy. I was just listening to an episode of Tinfoil Hat while I was driving, and they're doing another flat Earth debate. And I gotta tell you, like, I don't want this episode to really be about that, but really quickly, I listened to both arguments, and neither one of them convinced me. If you held a gun to my head and said you have to decide right now if you think it's a ball or if you think it's a flat Earth, I would probably say flat Earth based on the fact that I think that we're constantly lied to by the government and science. But besides that, like, the guys who are trying to prove flat Earth, their facts are never really proving anything. But then I also have a beef with the guys that are trying to prove that it's a round ball, because they also can never prove anything other than what they've read or based on the whole point of a conspiracy theory is that you've been lied to your whole life. So don't throw facts at me that are based off of something that someone wrote a really long time ago. Like, well, science says this, yes, but you realize that conspiracy theorists don't believe that is the truth. You know what I mean? So that's like the whole. So for me, neither one of them like win me over. I forget where I was. Okay, now I remember where I was going with this. Is that I from time to time come up with my own conspiracy theories, which is just my mind going like, I bet you that's what's going on. You know what I mean? Which is based on like what they're capable of from things I've heard in the conspiracy world. And so I think my own things all the time, which is just good to be a critical thinker, I guess. And I personally think that weather is controlled. I think that it can absolutely be manipulated, and I think that, I mean, it's a fact that I forget what part of Asia were the Olympics one year? Like maybe 5-10 years ago. Like,
Beijing.
I think so, and this is a fact that you can look it up, that they were trying to make it a good weather day. Like they spent so much money on science, and they have basically created something to manipulate the weather and to make sure that it didn't rain on the Olympics because they spent so much money on it, right? So so that's it. So the technology, it does exist, and I think that they ended up saying like, oh, it didn't end up not working, but we had good weather anyway, which I feel like is a good, like, it worked.
Yeah, it didn't work, guys. It didn't work.
Yeah, but talking about, and I've done previous episodes about conspiracy theories, which again, that's not what I want this episode to be about, but we're talking about Texas crazy weather, and I've done previous episodes where I think that when you look up and you see the chemtrails or whatever they're spraying, like, you know, God bless our frontline workers, or God bless our nurses, you know, meanwhile,
first responders.
Yeah, the first responder. Meanwhile, it's your friend who was just banging chicks in a hospital, and then
100% for 97 hours and getting paid
overtime.
Overtime, baby, clock in.
Yeah. So I think that they can manipulate the weather to where they want it to be, and I think that I noticed a lot less of it during the Trump administration, and I noticed a lot more of it right away when we got back. I don't even want to call it the Biden administration because it's just more old white guys that are
it's a smaller version.
The same people it's been for the past, 40 years back in office. You know what I mean? It's just puppets that are just running the world. And so as soon as they were back, I started to notice, like, because if you remember do you remember the Paris climate change or the Paris climate contract or something like that? And everybody wanted to do it because it was supposed to be good for the environment, but Trump pulled out of it because there was something that he saw he didn't like it. Now, I'm not trying to make this come off as super pro-Trump as much as I'm trying to just say something was stopped, and then when they started it right back up again, it was like a momentum that, after a long standstill. So everybody got extremes. Like, we got close to snow in LA. Actually, certain parts of LA County got snow, which is the first time ever. At the same time that Austin got that crazy blizzard, and then we're used to, by now mid-July, we're used to like hundreds or 110 in LA, and right now we're 80s and 90 tops, and you guys are having the hottest summer ever. I think that there is some sort of like back in motion of because they put the Paris Climate Accord back into motion, and so maybe it is good for the environment. maybe it's a lie. I don't know that much, but I do know that if you stopped something and then started it right again away, maybe it's having an effect.
Dude, here's the thing. If you told me that, like, not even if you really had facts to back this up, but I think
You'd be like, I wouldn't have done this podcast.
Yeah, if you had told me that this is what we were going to talk about, I would have said no. I would have had plans. I would have made up plans. No, if you would came up and told me that, hey, did you know that the February freeze was just like the government controlling the weather to kill all the homeless people in Austin, I 100% would have believed you. For sure.
But you guys still have a lot of homeless people.
We do, but they just passed a bill. Wheels, Greg Abbott just passed a bill that like prohibits camping within city limits. And he's like, and now homelessness is solved. Did it. I did it, guys. And
really?
Then rolls away in his wheelchair. That was his big bill. He was like, I'm going to solve homelessness.
Yeah.
Can't camp anymore. Later.
What qualifies as camping? A tent? Because
no. Well, because here's the thing.
What if you don't have a tent?
Dude, at this point, and you probably see it in LA, like on Skid Row, like they get to the point to where you're right. They don't have tents. They have like small shacks.
They're building like their homes out of like whatever they can find, drywall and carts, whatever they can find, and blankets. I mean, it's not even Skid Row anymore. You can go to like Studio City where I live, where there's literally $2 to $6 million homes around the corner from my house. It's here, like it's really bad here. And you go under a freeway pass by the Haha Comedy Club, on Lancashire. It's like it's crazy. It doesn't even look like a homeless encampment. It looks like, you ever watch like Breaking Bad and you were like, where did Jesse go when he went to get high? It was like some abandoned house that was once on fire. It looks like a
everybody's
meth
just
area.
laying on the floor.
Yeah, man, that's exactly what it looks like.
Dude. Yeah, what's crazy is that like because I live like right next to like one of Austin's main highways, and so like just a bunch of overpasses, and some of these homeless people have like cars, like parking lots. I saw a homeless dude with a garage the other day, and it was just like a big tarp on sticks over his, and I was like, that's more of a garage than I have. I have a covered parking spot.
Yeah.
He has more than I do.
That's funny, dude. He's got like little elevators.
Yeah, it's a
my house has an elevator. It's
dude,
just like a scooter.
I want to know how like homeless, like what the rules are for being homeless. Like, can you just plop down wherever you want, or is it kind of just like a, hey, you gotta
one day
make yourself known?
You transition into, I couldn't pay my rent anymore, and I literally have no money, and I can't get another, and I got evicted, and you're just like, shit, am I gonna pack all my shit in my car? And then the car eventually, and then you eventually sell the car so you can eat, and then I'm sure it spirals. But like, one thing that I've had an observation recently about, like I was just saying, how their area looks. Like, you have people who are homeless. They had, what do they call them? Unfortunate or whatever. But then, or maybe, former veterans or people with mental problems. But then you have guys that are straight up drug addicts who, a lot of these guys, they came from money. Like, you know what I mean? They, believe it or not, dude, I used to perform in rehabs a lot. Like, I would perform in like AA rehabs. And
whoa,
we would do I did a show for one every month. And it was like this mansion in Beverly Hills, and that's where they all stayed. That was the rehab. They have pool parties, and they like once a week they'd hire a comic or somebody to come entertain them and stuff. And I'd be like, and they're all like, oh, it's crazy money to be a part of this rehab. A lot of the young guys your age, my age, that got caught up in drugs, they came from really rich parents. It's very common. So sometimes you see them out in the street because they burned the bridge with almost everybody in their life, including their parents. And I used to tell my one buddy who has a problem with drinking, but I won't say his name, but he's an extremely talented comedian and has had great success in film. But he always goes downhill. And I always tell him, like, if you burn bridges, you'll live under them. That's eventually where it goes. So, but one observation this is what I was going to say is that I've had is that And it's almost like I was thinking about making a joke about it. Okay,
I was thinking about writing a bit.
yeah, I was thinking about writing a bit. Is that like, if I'm exiting a freeway and you're on my left driver's side with a sign begging for money, that means that you had the ingenuity to realize that you have more time to get money from me on my left, because it takes more time to turn left at a red light. Because on the right, you can turn right on a red light most of the time. So that means that they have less time with you if they stood on the right to get your money, right? So they know that cars are just going by. There's no time for them to stop and give me $1. So if I stay on the left, they're stuck at the red light. They gotta see my face, read my sign.
At least see me and feel guilty.
You have the ingenuity to know this. I'm not giving you money, because that means that you are smart enough to get a job. If you're on the right side, I'm going, this guy needs some help, man.
This dude's got to fucking eat.
You know? And that's horrible. I almost don't even know if I want to do the bit, because I don't want to promote people not being giving, because, you know, there are people that they don't even know how they figured that out.
That's like what you said. Like that's kind of the double-edged sword of it, is because you have like those like drug addicts, and like sometimes, not saying all drug addicts are like horrible people, but drug addicts and also horrible people that end up homeless. And then you have like the veterans, or just like people just who had like a run of bad luck. Yeah. And you're like, I don't know who to give my money to. Like, I don't know if it's actually going to go to helping anybody.
Yeah, there's veterans. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I had one dude pull me over like right next to my apartment, and he was like, yeah, man. He was like, I served my country for like some blah 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 years. And he was like, I used to defuse bombs, like active bombs, all the time, and like at this place and this place. And I was like, I don't think you should be telling me this. I was like, are you gonna kill me right now? Yeah. He was like, yeah, I did this, this, and this. And he was like, I just need $40 to restart my life. And I was like, how do you know that? What's gonna happen once you get $40?
I know, $40 and I'm off.
$40 and I'm Beverly
good.
Hills, baby. Dude, apparently back in the day, there was like a company that would bus Austin homeless people to California.
Yeah. And
like give them $100 and take them and just drop them off.
Well, they did that again recently out here. So
really?
Okay, so you know that they built a stadium for the Rams, for the Los Angeles Rams, right? Mm-hmm. So for the last couple of years, they've been playing at the Coliseum, which is USC's field. So they built that stadium, which is now open. It's been open for like a year now, and that's Inglewood, okay, which is not a good neighborhood. You probably heard jokes about Inglewood it being a bad neighborhood. Yeah. What they did, first of all, I know people that lived in Inglewood, and they were going door to door pressuring people to sell their home, because Inglewood's not going to be such a bad neighborhood after all. Like, they're trying to buy it while it's cheap, and then the market's going to go up because of the stadium. And then
stadium's right there.
And then you can't have housing prices go up, and you know they're trying to build around the stadium that it's a good place to live. It's like popping. That there was so much homeless down there that they literally, there was a program to buy them all bus tickets, and they sent them like everywhere else. Santa Monica. Whoa. That's why here in the Valley we have more than we've ever had before.
Because they just sent them all down to y'all.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
I remember, that's part of the reason.
The county I grew up in, which is just like north of Travis County, which is where Austin's at. Like being homeless was like illegal. Like if they caught you being homeless, they would drive you off to like the Travis County line and drop you off. Yeah. Which is just insane.
Yeah, dude.
Homelessness is nuts.
There was, I was just in Dubai a couple months ago, and I've noticed absolutely zero homeless people, which is good because,
really?
Yeah, zero. I didn't see one. And it's too fucking hot for them to be outside there.
Absolutely not.
They would all be insane, and it is illegal there to be homeless. It's I mean, there's so much money in that town. It's the richest part of the world. and they don't want homeless people around, and who knows what they do with it. I heard there was a program where they were like, giving them housing somewhere or something like that, but they're probably doing the same thing and shipping a lot of them off to other places.
100%.
They got the money.
What was Dubai like? Like, would it be like a nice place to live, or is it really just like a city, like a resort disguised as a city?
It's not even a resort. It's Las Vegas. It's just Las Vegas. I really do not understand the overhyped Dubai. It's the number one destination in the world for tourists. And
yeah.
I mean, the richest people in the world live there, and the poorest people in the world live there too. So, like, if you and I lived there, we would be poor. We'd be homeless. Like, you talk to the cab
they would
driver.
Ship us off.
Yeah, I mean, the cab drivers are making like $2 an hour. The servers are making like $2 an hour, and that's American, not I forget their currency.
Yeah.
Anyway, I forget their currency. But yeah, that's like, they're so poor, but the people that live there, they're like rich as hell. Like, they're it's there's fuck you money, bro. Like, if you look at the buildings, I think they're pretty famous for their unique buildings.
Yeah.
It's fuck you buildings. It's like, we got money. There's a building that goes like this, and in the middle is nothing. So the building is it's like that. It's like a frame.
It's just a bunch of, all of the buildings in Dubai look like the evil corporation's building.
Absolutely.
In any movie or TV show.
Like a Marvel villain.
That's where they all
yeah.
Like, it's Roxxon, Hydra. That's where
There's
all
one
are
building
at.
that's a circle. It's like, in the middle, there's wasted real estate. That's how much money they have.
They're like, I don't give a fuck about this.
And to be honest with you, it's ugly. To me, it was ugly. Like, people are proud of it. They thought it was, they're rich there, dude. They have money. Like, there's either a Lamborghini that you're driving next to. There's a Lamborghini, a Ferrari, and then a taxi cab, and that's it. And
Whoa.
A lot of money, beautiful women, because every every smoking hot chick you've ever seen on Instagram who constantly posts, like, the Instagram models they call themselves, their all main goal in life is to meet a dude in Dubai. Like,
and never have to worry about anything.
Like, they want to move to Dubai. It's the biggest mall in the world with all the biggest designers.
That's insane.
And there's smoking hot women that just walk around in, like, the most expensive clothes, and
like, it's nothing.
Yeah, but that's and if you talk to the guys that live there, a lot of them are telling me when they go on Tinder and they try to meet girls, they're all girls from, like, United States. And they're not even there. They changed their location because they're trying to meet a guy in Dubai because they assume he has money. Yeah, dude, it's insane. Shows went great. It was phenomenal.
You murdered in Dubai.
I did have a lot of fun. My first show was like, I didn't murder. I felt like I could have gone better because I was in my own head about thinking I had to be a certain kind of clean for them, or I couldn't talk about certain things because of their religion. And it was
it a corporate gig, or?
No, it's a comedy club. It's a comedy club.
Oh.
It's a comedy club that moves around Dubai. They have different. Everyone was in the lobby of a hotel, like a banquet hall.
Oh, yeah.
But it is a comedy club. They've been around, I think, for like 25 years. And so they move you around. So I was there for 2 weeks, and you'll do like 2 nights at that one, and then they'll move you to the next one. You do a night there, and then you're off like 3 nights with no shows, and then you move you to the next. So every hotel you're performing at, you're moving to stay in that hotel, which is fun. Different food. They pay for your food. They pay for all the transportation, and it's fun. But after 2 weeks, I was really homesick, and I didn't want to look at another building. And
you were there for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yeah. So you were probably like sick of it. Like the sheen was gone.
I don't want to seem ungrateful.
I didn't want to look at another building.
Yeah. It was great. I got the opportunity. I got paid. I got flown out. 5-star hotels. I don't want to complain too much, but I mean, I missed home. I'm an American boy, dude, and I don't eat.
You're a blue collar boy.
I'm a blue collar boy. I don't eat meat, so it's like everything's got like a fucking shawarma on it, a chickpea. You know what I mean? After a while, I ran out of. How many times can I have a falafel? Like,
You just wanted some fucking calamari.
Dude,
you don't eat meat. You don't eat meat. You can't have any calamari.
I actually do eat fish.
Oh, okay.
I'm a pescatarian.
So you can have calamari.
Yes, I can.
Pescatarian.
So, but yeah, I just was missing home. I like having my own car. I like knowing where I'm going. I like my spots. And, I just love where I live, dude. And, we met in Austin. I don't know if I ever told you this. I toyed with the idea of moving to Austin at the beginning of the pandemic, that I actually bought 2 flights for me and my wife to go look at apartments.
Whoa.
Yeah, we were going to go look at apartments, and I never got on the plane, dude. I never got on the plane.
Really?
Yeah.
So it was before the pandemic hit, or was
right at the beginning?
Right at the beginning?
Right at the beginning, when everybody was moving to Austin.
So I want to know kind of what that was like in LA, because was it like was it Joe Rogan that started it, and then everybody was like, well, we got to fucking go follow him?
I think
what was it?
I think that's what it was. That's not what it was for me. For me, it was my wife, who's constantly been wanting to leave California. Yeah. So it was that, and then, but she didn't want to go to Austin, but everybody else was leaving because of Rogan, and that was where all the comics were going. And I think I was listening to them going like, it's just like LA, it's just like LA. So everybody was saying that, and then I was looking at apartments, and it was way cheaper than living out here, and I was gonna do it, but dude, I couldn't bring myself to do it. I couldn't bring myself to do it.
Wow, that's crazy.
Love living in LA. I was born and raised here. Everybody left during the pandemic because they either went home to where they're from, or they moved to Austin, Texas, where they thought comedy was gonna go. And I'm from LA. This is my home. Like my parents live here, so I've never been an LA guy. Like, I don't like the Dodgers. I don't like the Lakers. I don't root for the fucking Rams. I don't like any LA sports teams. I know, dude. I just
blasphemous.
My dad was not a sports guy, and I didn't get into sports until I was older, and I was living in Boston, so I became a big fucking Boston guy.
Yep.
So I for the longest time didn't like it. I hate the heat, dude. Like, hate the heat. So good thing I didn't move to Austin.
That's fair.
But
that's fair.
As I get older, I really appreciate it. The weather here really is kind of amazing. Like, we get too hot. I don't like that it's Thanksgiving and you're running your AC still. Like, you guys get probably hotter than us, but you'll have your seasons.
We do get actual seasons.
Like, fall is fall. Like, fall for us, I might wake up in October. I might wake up on Halloween day, and it might be 102.
Yeah.
Our summers last like a really long time, but there's no miserable cold. I can drive 20 to 30 minutes and be on the water. Like, I go kayaking all the time. Like,
that's crazy.
I know, dude. I have my dentist. I have my mechanic. You know what I mean? Like, what am I gonna move for?
What am I gonna move for, dude? That's Austin. Austin's weather is super, because it's that Texas weather. So like we just said, like, we will get seasons, but then sometimes we just won't. Like this past year, the winter storm was as much of a winter as we got.
Oh, really?
Like, we didn't really get a whole lot past that. Like, it was like I remember, like, Christmas was like sunny. Like, it was like sunny and like maybe 75.
Wow. Yeah, see, that's like out here.
But then sometimes we'll get like real seasons.
Yeah.
And it'll be like normal. I don't know, dude. Yeah,
and that's why I think they turned the weather machine back on.
100%. That's why they turned the weather machine back on.
Because LA has been so perfect. It's been like it's been, dude, 80 to 90 in the summer. It's like they're trying to get everybody to come back to LA.
That's what it is. Everyone got scared. They were like, everybody left LA. Like, y'all got to come back. I promise. Like, we're fine.
Yeah, they're like, we're gonna recall Gavin Newsom. The weather's the best here, guys. Come on back.
Yeah. Guys, the Comedy Store's still around. Y'all saw that documentary. I know y'all watched it.
Yeah.
Come back.
So the half hour is almost up. We didn't get into any, but that's all right. We got to do a part 2, and I'll have you on again if you want next week, because I do want to get into
Let's do it.
some more stuff. But I met you in Austin, and And how long have you been doing comedy now?
I would say like actually like doing it. I typically tell people like 7, 8 months because I did it like because in high school, because I've always known that I've wanted to like perform, and like stand up comedy like quickly became like the big one that I want to do, and like I did it like at talent shows throughout high school and whatnot, and then I had like my first open mic back in 2019, and I did like end of 2019 I did Cap City, and at that point it was more like I did an open mic like every 3 months, and then I found and then I found the Romo Room, which opened like maybe like a month after I. I found the Romo Room and I started doing their open mics like every like week or so, and booked my first show at the Romo Room, like the first ever show, and then did the show, went great. The day after that show, COVID hit and everything shut down.
So that was like in March?
That was way back in March. So then like I had that whole year.
December of 2019, but first time ever doing a mic?
November of 2019.
November of 2019.
First time ever doing a mic.
And then you didn't do it again until like March?
Yeah, pretty much.
But March, it's been consistent. So that's why you say 9 months.
Yeah, because I typically don't count COVID because I mean it's like nobody was doing anything.
Yeah.
But then like after we all came back, I think I'd say about like December is when I booked like my first show back. December from on, we've been going.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'd say about 7, 8 months. That's just my safe answer.
That's unbelievable, dude. Because when I saw you perform, I was like, I thought 2 years. I thought 2 years, maybe more.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
Thank you.
That's why I think I said to you, I could tell that you had like a theater background or something like that because you definitely have like a stage presence already, which some guys don't get until maybe 4 years to develop a stage presence, or their own. And yeah, dude, I couldn't believe when you told me only like 9 months. I was like, dude, I thought like at least 2 years,
Dang.
Yeah, man, you're really talented. You're definitely going places. You're funny. You're only gonna get better. You're gonna keep writing, and I think you're on the right path, dude. Just obviously keep getting up as much as you possibly can.
Yeah,
which is key. Everybody always says that, but it really is true. Like that's the case for anything. If you want to learn how to play guitar, you got to fucking play every single day. If you want to be great at it, and every day that you're not playing, there's somebody else who's playing, and they're getting better than you. Not that it's about being the best, but in a stand-up comedy world, there's so much competition that, and there's so little stage time. I mean, also as a musician, if you're a musician, I'm sure there's not so many gigs hiring or letting you play there. Same thing. There's somebody else that's getting it, but that could be, they like this type of music instead of your type of music. But the point is, like, you want to be an artist, like, so you're gonna be a live performing artist, the type that you want to be. So it's not really a competition because that guy's doing what he wants and you're talking about what you want, and that's the type of comic you want to be. But the more that you're getting on stage, you're figuring out the type of comic that you want to be, because it's going to change. Like the comic that you think you want to be right now, eventually down the road, it might change. Like I went through different periods. I mean, we all start out as comics and eventually go into being a comedian, which I don't know if you know the difference, but the correct terminology is like one says funny things, the other one says things funny.
Yeah.
But an example is like but it also could be like a style, like Seinfeld and Gaffigan, I'd say are like comics. They're joke tellers, and then comedians are like Louis C.K., Bill Burr, and Carlin as more as like bits or stories. And then you have storytellers. So I never really thought in a billion years that storytelling was going to be my thing. And
really,
yeah, I never really thought that, like, ever, or longer bits. I was never doing like set up punch, one-liners. I was never doing that. But in the beginning, we all kind of do a version of that. It's like easy joke.
Yeah.
These are my silly jokes. And
Because you got those 5 minutes, you gotta hit them with as much as you can.
yeah, that's the jokes that you know how to tell because that's all you know how to do. And then there's some guys that start out with stories because they think they have a funny story and they're like, maybe I should try comedy, you know. But I think eventually, and I'm constantly proven right on this, I think everyone becomes a storyteller eventually, even the one-liners.
Really?
Like if you're in something long enough, you will become a storyteller, because even Gaffigan's last special, go watch it. He's got like 3 stories in there, dude. His like recent one, which honestly I didn't think was that great. The one before it I thought was way better. I don't remember the name.
Which special is that? Which one's his new one?
It's on Prime. It's like a Prime original.
Okay, I feel like I've seen half of it, but I might be thinking of a different special.
But yeah, he's got stories on there, and I think eventually you're going to become a story. Everybody will. But everybody always told me, "You're such a good writer. You're such a good writer. You're such a good writer." Like, you know, which I didn't want to hear. To me, that meant you're not a good comedian. You know what I mean? I wanted to hear,
you're
dude,
not good at performing.
You're so funny. You're such a good comic. I never heard that. I heard people say, like, you're a good writer. Like, the first time I opened for Joey Diaz, he was, I went back in the back room. Or on the car ride home, actually, he was like, you're a really good writer. And when he wanted help writing something or he had a writing job, he'd call me and be like, I got something for you. You know what I mean? But I wanted people to be like, I want stand-up. And still to this day, I got guys that I write for that they hit me up and, like, they're like, are you the writer? Like, I can't say names.
Are you the writer?
Yeah. Like, they're like, hey, someone recommended you're that writer, right? I'm like, I'm a comic too. And
like, I'll open for you. I'll do a spot.
Like this one guy in particular, I won't tell you his name, but he's a pretty well-known guy, actor and comedian that I write for. And he's randomly start sending me stuff and then just be like, can you write this week? And I'm like, I'm on the road. Like, I'm doing comedy. And then I know somebody... I know somebody who ran into him last week and said, like, hey, my friend is Augustino, right? And he went, oh, the writer. But I guess it's embracing what you're good at. I'm actually pretty proud of it now that I've recognized my gift, that I am a good writer. I see things differently. Someone once told me that, like, I'll take a bit and I can do something different with it because I don't see it like this. I see it like this. It's like holding the glass like this or holding the glass like this. It's like I can, you know what I mean? It's just embracing your gift and doing something with it. So I definitely have started writing longer bits and stories and I'm still struggling with finding me and embracing my gifts and finding out what I'm into. Like Tripoli always says, and he's always preaching, like, what's your thing? He goes like, mine's fucking conspiracies. I was able to build off that. He goes like, find your thing. And I'm still trying to find it, dude. I can't, grow a huge podcast following because I'm a good writer.
Yeah.
So I'm still working on it too, man. I got the table read podcast. I go like, I'm writing scripts and we're doing a table read, and so there's that. I'm gonna try different things, dude. So what's my thing? I really like writing. I really like sitcoms. I really like movies, especially from like the 80s and 90s, stuff like that. So I'm gonna probably try a bunch of things. I'm working on a documentary right now about comedians during the pandemic that I'm gonna try to get into the festivals by this fall. So
nice,
dude. You're never not learning and working on yourself as a performing artist. And if you think you've hit where you want to be, then you're not really a performing artist. Like I've been doing comedy 12 years.
You're never done.
I'm not where I want to be, dude. And you're already ahead. You're ahead of the game, dude. You seem more seasoned than you are. So yeah, dude, keep going. I want to have you on again because we didn't really get to talk so much about like starting comedy in the up and coming. So I'm just gonna call this part 1, and we will definitely have you on.
Let's do it.
If you want to do next week, we'll lock it down. We'll actually I'll have the list of things that everybody wanted to ask, and we'll talk about. A lot of people ask me like, how do you do stories? Because it is a really hard craft to do as well. So I have tips on that and stuff like that. But so we'll do a part 2 next week. If you have a question for me before we go.
Let's see. I'm trying to. So kind of what I'm dealing with right now, because I've been doing the same 10 minutes, same loose 8 minutes for 3 months.
Okay.
Pretty much at all the spots, and it's been it's been the same thing, and it's been doing really well. It's I'm getting booked and whatnot, and it's killing and all that. But a part of I kind of stumbled into it. I just threw it together right before a show, and then was just I'm actually gonna perform it like this tonight, and then it just crushed, and I've just been doing that.
Okay.
But now I'm getting to the point where I'm I need to start, I need to write some new stuff.
Right.
So because my big issue is I'll come up with a bit and I think it's good, and then it'll just maybe not work, and I'll just keep trying it that one way that I figured it out, that I want to do it, and it just still won't work. So how would you think about going about looking at it like that rather than like this?
Oh yeah, interesting. So
and
yeah, do you want to
figuring out what you need to work, what you need to work in the joke?
So you're talking about a bit that you're already doing that you want to look at differently, but it doesn't work, right? You don't want to change a bit that works. It's one that you can't get to work for some reason, right?
Yeah, but it's a bit that I love, that I like, and I think is what I think I am now.
In that case, I don't think it's about looking at something like this rather than like this, because again, you're an artist. I don't want to change what your original direction for the bit was, because I can tell you, you can tell me the bit, and I can tell you something that might be a great idea for it, but it completely takes it in the wrong direction of where you wanted it to go. And don't you hate when somebody comes up to you afterwards, like, hey dude, that joke, I got an idea for you. And there's certain people that get you, and they can do that for you, and there's a very few of your friends. But mostly the guys who want to help you out afterwards, they give you something, it's but then that doesn't go anywhere in the direction I was heading with that bit. Okay?
Yeah.
So it's a good joke, but it's going to take away from what I'm trying to get at.
Though, yeah.
Oh shoot, I think my battery's almost going to die. Okay, so we should hang on.
Part two.
Okay, so let me plug this thing just because I don't want it to cut off on you. Hang on one sec.
All right. How's it going, Homeschooled Podcast? I'm the solo host now. I've killed Augustino. I was the one that depleted his battery, and he does not know that he's walking into a trap now. So he's dead, and I'm pretty much gonna take over. Oh nope, never mind. He's back.
I can hear the whole time too.
Damn it.
Okay, yeah. So with something like that, this is something that someone told me, and I have found they told me that a long time ago when I first started. So when you have a bit that just doesn't really work, you got to go back to basics, and you have to ask this question: what am I trying to say? I don't want you to be funny. I don't want you to try to make a joke. I want you to literally ask yourself, what's the point? What am I trying to say? That thing I was telling you about the homeless guy on the left rather than the right. I don't know if I'm going to do that as a bit, but it's if I did that and it got no laughs, I would go back to it and I would look at it again and I would go, what am I trying to say? What's the point? The point is that you're smart enough to figure that out, then you're smart enough to earn a living for yourself, right? That's the point. But that's not funny. So, but often when you ask yourself, what am I trying to say, you find your opener. So that's that's your opener. Is just make sure that the point is there. And another, so that's one technique that you can do. Another point that I'll make is that sometimes you should open with your punchline, which sounds crazy. I know, dude. It sounds crazy.
I think you've told me this before.
Have I really?
I think you just mentioned it, but I don't think you like dove into it because we were in the middle of like a loud bar and Lee Syatt was trying to get laid. That's 100% what it was.
If you've got a really funny punchline, but along the way you're not really getting laughs, sometimes you gotta just give them the punchline up front. I don't know if I can think of an example, but that's also a great way to start stories too, to hook people in right away. You know, when you were in school when you were a little kid and they told you when you were writing a short story or a paragraph or something, they would always tell you the first line should be something that hooks the reader to make them keep wanting to read. And that's absolutely what you should apply with stand-up comedy. It's like, I mean, I can't think of an example right now, but let's say,
Is it like the Dave Chappelle bit where he talks about that and he's like I pulled a punchline out of my fishbowl and it said and all it said on it was, and then I kicked her in the pussy.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, now I'm going to tell you a story and end with that punchline.
Right.
I guess that's like the extreme, like super literal version of it. But
Yeah.
I know. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, you know, you got a bit, and then the punchline gets the laugh, but it takes you a long time to get to the punchline. So let's say the punchline is, you know, I kicked her in the pussy, right? So what you would do is when you start the bit, you would go like, let me tell you guys about the time I kicked somebody in the pussy. And then you're going to have a huge, like, shock.
What?
Maybe not even funny, but you got everybody's attention. And it's a shock value. And then you can do the story. Let me tell you how it happened. You know what I mean? And that's probably a bad example. But a lot of the times that can help. But what's the problem with the bit in particular? Why is it not working, or what is it about?
So I think the big thing is that because like now that I'm thinking about it, like in detail, I think I just don't really know how I want to like end it, I guess, because the punchline is or like basically like the main idea of it is doesn't it feel like the McRib is always back? And then when I go into it, I just am like explaining, and it just doesn't seem to be like clicking. Like it kind of just seems like with the audience, at least, it ends with, yeah, it's always back.
Okay, so it doesn't have an ending. That's a perfect example where the ending is the beginning. So that's exactly what I would do. Instead of the punchline being, you know, it's always back, that's the opener.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Opening it with, doesn't it feel like the McRib is always back?
Yeah, that's the opener.
Oh.
Like the McRib is always back. Has the McRib ever been has the McRib ever gone away and then you keep going?
Where does it keep going?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But to be 100% honest with you, I've heard that bit before.
Oh.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah. So don't don't break your brain too much. I know a guy, but it's honestly like
I'll whip it out of my journal right now.
He would. I don't think he did it that often, but I know a guy that did like he like opened like where does the McRib go? Like where'd it go? Like does it go to jail?
Ooh.
Like he would go. Yeah, he would go. Does it go to jail? Like it's sitting there like in prison, going like, man, when I get out. You know what I mean? Something like that, along the lines of that.
That's good looking out because that's kind of where I was like thinking of taking the bit. So that is.
Yeah, I mean that's normal to come up with stuff that somebody, especially in the beginning, dude. It's like, you know, you're gonna while you're finding know your stuff, but.
Yeah. Do you ever just hear something like a comedian say something, or somebody that's not even a comedian say something, and you're just like, fuck, that's amazing. I can't believe I didn't think about that.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Like, that's just an amazing bit.
All the time. I mean, if it's a bit, I think like, oh, man, I should have thought of that because it's right in front of my face every day, and I always think that. Like, why didn't I do it?
Yeah.
Which goes to show you that you should try every dumb thought, every single thing that bothers you, even if you think this isn't a bit, or if you didn't even think about a bit when you saw it. Everything, dude. Everything. Just if you don't like something or something bothers you, get up at that open mic and talk about it. You might have a bit come out of it, you might not, and if you don't, Great. It bothered you, and you got it off your chest. Best case scenario, you get a bit out of it too. And most of the time, you get a bit out of that shit. Because the best comedy comes from complaining. And this is another theory of mine, which is,
100%.
this is a completely sexist theory. And this is completely based off of things that other people say that I don't believe in, that you will hear more than us, more than comics, audiences say women aren't funny. Audiences think that. Like, I've had 100 times, even women themselves come up to me after a show and be like, that girl before you was funny. Women usually aren't funny. I've had women tell me that, okay? Now, I think the reason why sometimes that's the case is because the best comedy is complaining. And women complain all the time. and men really don't open up about what bothers them. They say men don't open up and communicate, which that's our flaw. But so if you see a man saying things that bother him and from his point of view, and he makes like bits about it, it's like you want to listen to that.
It seems like,
But if a chick goes up there and complains about her day, it's like,
you're just like, ah.
I hear that at home.
Yeah.
But the best comedy is angry and complaining. The best comedy is complaining or you're upset about something. So anything that pops in your head, dude, try. I mean, George Carlin. Think about every bit ever.
George Carlin just complains.
Just complained.
That's all it is.
I mean, the beginning stuff was super funny. The beginning stuff, it was joke writing, and then he became very political and became more of like speech than comedy. But just complaining about what was wrong with the world and bringing awareness to it.
Do you think that's where Dave Chappelle's heading?
I think Dave Chappelle is there.
We also talked about this.
Yeah, I think we did talk about that.
There?
Yeah, Chappelle is Carlin. Chappelle's our Carlin. People suck Chappelle's dick, and I do not think he's that funny anymore. I think that he is. He's brings excellent points, and he's a really smart guy, and he has the whole eyes on him, so he's bringing light to it, which is what Carlin did. I think Burr is still like the best right now as far as joke writing and bits. Yeah, I think Burr is the best. I think he buries Chappelle as far as stand-up comedy. He's actually doing bits.
Yeah, I'm gonna be 100%. This is like, I don't know what it is. I respect Bill Burr. I don't know why. I just can't get into any of his stuff.
It's not your cup of tea. I don't know.
But I've like.
Maybe you don't like black chicks. Maybe you don't have a baby.
Maybe that's what it is. I didn't think about that. Maybe that's 100% what it is. But like, it's a weird thing with like, I guess what it is like with Bill Burr. It's like when like somebody sees like an athlete that they're like not the biggest fan of,
right?
But then like people who don't like LeBron James.
Yeah, I don't like LeBron.
Then they're
James.
also like. But you can also see LeBron James just be like, oh, but he's also one of the greatest basketball players.
Of course, yeah.
And to like, that's kind of how it is with Burr. I'm just like, his stand-up doesn't really do it for me.
Yeah.
But I can tell that like the way he does it.
Exactly. I feel that way about Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is one of the best quarterbacks right now. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't like him. I don't. Everybody loves him. I think he's kind of smug and arrogant. But I mean, I don't know the guy. It's just. Yeah, exactly, dude. I hear you. But a couple things. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, do you think Bill Burr will get to that point that Carlin and Chappelle got to, or do you think he'll? Because I kind of see him, not necessarily ending, but like keeping himself from getting to that point. And if he does, he would still add a bit of joke writing to it.
I think Bill Burr will quit comedy before comedy quits Bill Burr. I think Bill Burr will eventually get old. His second kid is on the way. And I think he'll get to a point where he's going. I'm sure he'll always, as much as he's able to, but you never know. He might get tired eventually. And I also remember, everyone's going to become a storyteller. Burr's going to, when he's old, he's going to start doing stories. And be on the lookout for the Cosby special, by the way.
Dude,
it's coming.
I saw you post about that, and I saw that before I heard the news. And so I saw you post that, and I was like, what was Agostino talking about? And I was like, he won't.
Yeah.
He won't.
I'm telling you, dude, he's going to do a special. I know for a fact, I won't name specific agencies. I know for a fact agencies were meeting with him in prison in talks about doing a special. People want to hear his side of the story.
Whoa.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Dude, once the Cosby special comes out, Louis C.K.'s numbers and Chris D'Elia's numbers are going to skyrocket. They will no longer be the most problematic comedians.
Not at all.
Yeah, no. That's insane.
Yeah, I'm telling you, dude, we're going to see it. His birthday was yesterday, Bill Cosby. I think he turned 86.
He's 86?
Yeah, he's going to do a special, bro. Bro, I saw him like a year before he got
He's
locked
gonna do
up.
a special.
I saw him like one of his last shows before he got locked up. But before
was
all
still
that
in
shit came
stand-up?
up. Yeah. 2 hours, bro.
Ooh.
No opener.
Of old stuff? Or was it like new stuff?
I'd never heard it in my life. Dude, can I tell you, say what you want about Bill Cosby. Some people believe he's innocent, some people believe he's guilty, and they can't believe he got out. I'm not talking about that. Talking about as a stand-up comedian, he's one of the greatest of all time, dude. He's one of the fucking greatest of all time. Dude, 80, at the time when I saw him, he must have been 80, maybe 79. No opener, no music. Walks out on stage. No, ladies and gentlemen, Bill Cosby. Walks out on stage. Sits in a chair, not a stool, a normal little chair. Does 2 hours of non-stop murder. Gets up, leaves. And that's the show. Dude, it's great. And it's all clean. Not that I'm saying I respect it because it's clean, but it's crazy. Not one little potty
Slip
mouth.
up.
Nothing. Not one innuendo. It's insane.
That's... Wow. I didn't know he was still doing stand-up. I thought he had like... Whoa.
You better believe he's meeting with writers and lawyers right now discussing
how soon
what he's going to talk about.
Give me a realistic timeline. How soon?
It's got to be very soon. It's got to be very soon. It's got to be within a year.
Do you think it's going to be something that... Cause see,
you're not going to invest money on somebody that could die.
Yeah, no.
He's too
But
old.
also, like, do you think they would even give him time to like tour it and like work it out, or would it be just like a 2-night thing? We're just getting 2 tapings of it. We're doing it now. You're Bill Cosby. You don't have to work it out.
I think they'll let him. I think he'll run it at a few theaters, and I think you're going to see people outside the theater protesting with signs. But I will also think you'll see it sell out.
Really?
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Like even if you don't, it's I guess it's like a train wreck. Like even if you don't want to see it, a part of you just wants to be like, what's he going to talk about?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, half the people, they just curious, how are you going to address this? And the other half are just supporting him 100%. But there will be people outside wherever he's taping, protesting. Mark my words, bro. Or any
insane.
Comedy club he does.
I didn't think him getting a special was as real as it is.
I think so, dude. I think I'd be very surprised if we didn't see it in the next year or two. And then after that, maybe I'm full of shit. He's getting old.
I was about to say, but who do you think would even do it? I don't think Netflix would go near that.
I don't think they would either, to be honest with you. And I don't think I don't know. I don't know, dude. It might be independent.
Might do the Louis C.K. and just like release it on his website.
I'll tell you what, bro. Netflix, they removed everything D'Elia. They removed everything Louis C.K. They removed everything Bill Burr. Netflix did. Not Bill Burr. Bill Cosby.
D'Elia's still on there.
Is he? I thought in the beginning they ripped it off.
I think they ripped it off in the beginning, but
it's back on there.
Yeah, I saw No Pain there the other day.
But you know what, bro? This whole time on Amazon Prime, The Cosby Show was still up there.
Dude, if Amazon... Here's the thing.
That's some Jeff Bezos shit right there.
That's what I'm saying, dude. That's what I'm saying. If a streaming service were to produce and release the Bill Cosby special, it would have to be Amazon Prime.
Or it could be like a new network, or maybe that's why CAA and all these guys are meeting with him, because maybe they want to do something on their own independently, like Louis C.K.'s first big special that blew up was Live at Beacon. Well, he had tons of great specials before that, but the one I think I heard that he made like his first he became a millionaire on was Live at Beacon, because he only sold it on his website for $5 and exclusively. And then, of course, Fame came and Netflix came, but then after he had his fall, and then his special, he goes, I'm doing that again. He released it on his website only. And dude, right now, Cosby is on fire, bro. Do you follow him on social media?
No.
Follow Bill Cosby on Instagram and Twitter right now. He posts 10 times a day. He makes O.J. Simpson look like he doesn't know how to tweet. Bill Cosby,
dude.
You think it's him? He's got people that work for him. He's got writers.
100%.
He's got lawyers that are telling him what is okay to say and, what's the smart move and marketing campaign, dude. Why is he so much on Twitter and Instagram since he got released if he's not building something?
He's putting, wow. This is eye-opening. I think this is the moment. This is how people feel when they finally decide whether or not they're flat Earth or round Earth. They're just like, I didn't know it was a question.
I know. That's how you feel. Yeah, dude. Bill Cosby is. I personally think he will do a special, and it's got to be quick.
Be 100% honest with me right now.
Yeah.
If you got an anonymous, like you were sitting on a park bench alone.
Yeah.
And somebody like ran by you and like threw a note at you, and all it said was "answer the phone." And a phone started to ring under the bench, and you reached under, and it was a burner duct taped, and you answered, and it was Mr. Cosby himself. And he said, "I want you to open for me for my special taping."
Yeah.
Click.
Why does it have to be so discreet on a park bench and?
Because here's the thing, dude. Here's the thing. This is the special of the century.
Okay.
This is the special of the century. Are you accepting the offer to open for Cosby on his escape special?
That's what it's called, by the way.
It's called the escape special.
It's called the escape. 100%.
Really?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
What do I have to lose? What
True.
A bunch of women are going to come at me and say that I'm a sexist pig and I'm supporting a rapist? I ain't supporting shit. I'm taking a job.
That's fair.
So,
and you're like, did you see the paycheck that Amazon Prime gave me for doing that? Yeah.
Why don't we go and and talk to Weinstein's maid and see if she still fucking cleaned his house afterward?
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I'm going to take the check, I'm going to take the opportunity, and I'll take the good publicity and I'll take the bad publicity. You know what I mean? Whatever gets my name out. There's no such thing as bad publicity. So it's at least you're talking about me, which is sure the hell a lot more than what's happening right now. We'll sell some tickets at the Roma Room, bro. All dudes, but
we'll pack the Roma Room out because you opened for Cosby.
Yeah.
I would love for the Cosby special to get released, and then like it just comes out and people are just like, yo, Cosby special was good. Augustino murdered.
I would love it.
He murdered.
Yeah.
And even if Cosby, I think I would love it more if Cosby were to go up there and just admit to everything he did. Like, just be like, it's all true. And people are just like, wow, I can't, like, that's atrocious that he just went up there and admitted. His opener was pretty good, though. His opener was killer. Augustino crushed it.
Dude, the world is filled with so much shit. It's like, fucking Bezos can cheat on his wife, but you're going to still work for him. You know what I mean? Amazon's got to have workers, right? Like, dude, fucking Wayfair had fucking, pedophile shit going on their site.
Yeah.
People still order from there.
Whoa.
You know what I mean? YouPorn, they found a bunch of fucking videos on there of girls that never volunteered to be on camera, not to mention underage girls. Guys still watch YouPorn. You know what I mean?
That was a thing. That was like a thing overall.
Yeah, we're all contributing to the problem. If I'm given a fucking stage and a mic, I'm going out there, bro. You know what I mean?
Out there.
But Cosby doesn't have openers. So it's just a fantasy anyway. The only person that opens for Cosby are asleep. Part two. So yeah, we got to do a part 2. We're actually going to do some comedy tips. I'm going to walk you through. It's funny you mention it because I did something similar recently when I was breaking down how to structure my documentary, which I used my structure that I make to build an hour set. Which on part 2, I will tell that to you, as well as
I would love that.
keys that you always want to pay attention to. I want to say like 5 off the top of my head, but there's like 4, maybe 6. I'll write them all down. I'll have them all ready for you next week, and we'll go to like these keys to always remember in joke telling, storytelling, everything.
Dude, yeah, that sounds awesome.
So stick around for part 2, everybody. Dude, a big thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. I love talking to you, dude.
Thank you for having me, dude.
Of course, man. You're the best. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep getting on stage. I'll talk to you next week. And guys, don't forget to go to homeschoolpod.com. Click on tour. Get some tickets to see me this week. I keep wanting to say weekend. This week. If you're listening to this right now, that means today, Wednesday night. Portland, Oregon, July 14th in Portland, Oregon. You guys can go out. I'm at the Botanist House. It's in Portland. You can get all the information and get your tickets at homeschoolpod.com. And then also you can see me you can see me in Seattle the next day, July 15th, Thursday night. And that's at a place called Northwest Peaks Brewery. So tickets are at homeschoolpod.com. Big thank you to Nate for calling in today. Big thank you to everybody who tuned into this episode. And I'll see you guys next week. Have a great week.
Later.
Peace.
Homeschool Podcast.
Homeschool.
The homeschool podcast. Why? Because he was homeschooled.
I don't want to do that.